Rise and shine, everyone. 6 o'clock. Jason Hackett, Alicia Lewis with you here on this finally Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Lots going on. You got state hockey going on. Looks like the weather is going to be great for
It's going to be so nice. Obviously, parking is going to be busy in St. Paul, and there's still parking restrictions because of that winter storm we had. So let's get right to Mace, who is in for John this morning. It's going to be great, though. Snow's probably be gone by this weekend.
I would think so, if not early next week. Those lingering little snow mounds off in the distance are on the parts of the house that doesn't see as much sun, on the side of the house in the yard. Those will probably be the ones that linger into early next week. But otherwise, with 40s and 50s ahead for us and a lot of sun, yeah, the slush will melt away. Upper 20s now, clouds kind of hanging around the metro thanks to a system to our south. Even 30s in southern Minnesota with that zone of clouds, but teens up through central Minnesota, even single digits in northern Wisconsin due to a pocket of clear skies. Then in northern Minnesota, it's back into the 20s as some clouds have sunk down. In that zone of clouds to the south, there are flurries from Albert Lea and Austin over to Rochester, westward to Waseca, and then also close to Worthington. A few areas will see some clouds this morning, but again, we're into sunshine and near 40 for this afternoon, Cece.
All right, good morning. I hope your day is off to a great start. We finally made it to Friday. I'm not seeing too much on the roads except this 94 eastbound. There's a stalled semi here blocking the ramp to Highway 52 south. So it looks like you can still take that ramp and maneuver around the semi, but you should use caution if this is on your commute soon, but shouldn't really block your way to 52 south if you're headed toward 494 in that area. Otherwise, things looking pretty good across the metro. There is a right lane blocked on 494, but that shouldn't really cause a problem until around 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I'll send things back to you guys.
Cece, thank you. We'll check back in a bit. Well, we want to catch you up on some breaking news out of Bloomington right now. Take a look at your screen. 35W South reopening here in the last 3 hours following this scary rollover crash early this morning. We paused the video here because it appeared someone was thrown from that vehicle.
Yeah, it's so hard to watch. Michelle Beck is live at the scene with new details about what happened. And Michelle, do we know anything about that individual or the people involved here?
Well, Jason, Alicia, those are the truly most important questions this morning for us. I've put those questions out to State Patrol in the last 3 hours. I've also checked in the last 30 seconds alone, the MSP or State Patrol's crash updates page. Still no answers about those very things. And so I am still waiting to hear back. But truly, what a wild video that was. Take a look right here. Here is the car heading south on 35W around 1:30 this morning. It's on the right lane until something happened and it pivots left, crashing with that sign where the highway splits. Flames erupt on the back end and the car rolls over at least 3 times. And that is where we're going to pause the clip because it appears the impact threw someone out of their car. After the light-colored sedan comes to a stop upside down, an ambulance discovers it less than 2 minutes later. And so, guys, I mentioned one person was thrown outside of their car, but it is possible that there were more people inside that car. And so, again, those are the questions that I've reached out to State Patrol with. Hopefully, I'll have some more answers for you in the next 30 minutes or as soon as I get that. Jason, Alicia.
Incredibly traumatic video. Hoping that individual or individuals are okay. Michelle, thanks for checking up on that. We'll check in with you a little later. We're also following some breaking news this morning in the North Metro. 2 fires within 10 miles of each other. The first in Coon Rapids, the second in Ham Lake. This was the scene in Coon Rapids about 5 hours ago on Eagle Street and 105th Avenue. A firefighter on scene confirmed with us they're called in for a chimney fire at that home. No word on if there were any injuries or the extent of the damage. And we have a brand new video into the newsroom overnight of the fire out of Ham Lake. MnDOT cameras capturing the flames in what appears to be a parking lot fire after midnight. This is just off of Highway 65 Northeast and Bunker Lake Boulevard. We know this is near 2 auto businesses. Just before we came on air, we reached out to officials about this fire and the fire in Coon Rapids. As soon as we learn anything, we'll update you right away.
For the latest updates on these developing stories, download our streaming app, KARE 11 Plus. We'll be following any updates on our Sunrise Stream show at 8 a.m. Download it on your TV and watch for free. Well, if you're parked on the street in Minneapolis and St. Paul, remember you are under a snow emergency this morning as crews try to clear all of that snow out there. In Minneapolis, those expire tonight, but you can still be towed today. New numbers released 24 hours ago show nearly 800 cars were ticketed in the city and more than 200 towed, and even more in St. Paul. They ticketed nearly 1,000 people and towed 240. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to hear how people are feeling about the new system.
We're live at MSP Airport right now as spring travel rush officially gets started, folks, in shorts there, going somewhere warm, hopefully. The airport says this is the busiest time for terminals between now and 8 a.m. Airport officials expect more than 192,000 passengers through Sunday. The next peak for spring break is Thursday, March 20th through Sunday, March 23rd. And new this morning, anyone going to Turks and Caicos, the U.S. is putting the popular spring break destination under a level 2 travel advisory due to crime and limited police resources. The U.S. State Department says travelers should avoid walking alone at night or resisting robbery attempts, and don't bring firearms or ammunition because it's illegal.
Well, time now 6:06. We have an update right now to a story we've been following for the past 24 hours. A controversial proposal to change a self-defense law in Minnesota. Here's what we've learned since we first told you about it yesterday on Sunrise.
I'm Mariah Katane. This morning, changes to Minnesota's self-defense policy are off the table. House representatives voted against a bill that would have eliminated your duty to retreat in situations of self-defense. But what exactly is the duty to retreat? It's a state policy that says you're legally required to try to get away from an attacker before resorting to using reasonable force to defend yourself or others. A bill introduced by Republican Representative Matt Bliss would have eliminated that policy. Bliss says his bill ensures that Minnesotans aren't forced to, quote, second-guess their ability to protect themselves in life-threatening situations. But critics of the bill say the change would have made Minnesota more dangerous, saying similar laws enacted in other states have led to more shootings because less people try to walk away or de-escalate dangerous situations before resorting to violence.
6:07 here on your Friday. We're taking live to the White House right now, tracking some big developments this morning. President Trump is delaying tariffs on Canada and Mexico until April 2nd. This comes just 2 days after the 25% tariffs began. Now, some stakeholders are saying that they're shifting away from doing business with the United States. In light of the pause, Mexico's president says that she's not going to announce any new retaliatory measures on Sunday, and Canada is also holding off on its second round of new tariffs on U.S. goods.
Well, looking ahead to September, that's when the National Park Visitor Center overlooking the Mississippi River in St. Paul is slated to close. That's about 6 months from now. It's housed inside the Science Museum of Minnesota in St. Paul and meant to educate people about the Mississippi National River and Recreation Area. But now the Trump administration announced it's planning to terminate National Park Service leases, closing 34 offices across the country that serve as visitor centers, museums, and employee offices. We spoke with the park's former superintendent about the decision, and here's what he told us.
So it wasn't based on what's the value of this park, what's the need for this park, what's its mission, who does it serve. It was simply about timing. And how does that serve the American public?
Aside from national parks, 8 other government building leases in Minnesota are also on the list of closures to cut federal spending, including the Indian Health Service in Bemidji and IRS offices in Bloomington and St. Cloud.
Well, just before your lunch break, the puck drops for the first game of the semifinals of the boys' state hockey tournament. Nearly 20,000 people are expected to make their way to the X to watch the games today and all weekend long. In Class A at 11, it's number 2 St. Cloud Cathedral against 6th seed Orono. And top-ranked Hibbing Chisholm versus number 4 East Grand Forks at 1. Later tonight in 2A, Stillwater versus St. Thomas at 6, followed by Moorhead and Edina at 8. And coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to break down the best place to park if you're going over to St. Paul. Should be a lot of fun, though, this weekend.
Should be. Another reminder this morning, if you got ice houses up north, the DNR says you've only got 10 more days to get them off the lakes in the northern 1/3 of the state. That deadline is coming up on March 17th. It's been a great season for ice here in Minnesota, Mace, but time to